Good morning, traders, and welcome to the Bookmap live trading webinar. This is Bruce
Good morning.
at Bookmap, and we go through live analysis here Monday, Tuesday, Friday at 10 a.m. We have live trading Wednesday, 10 a.m., Thursday, 10 a.m., JTrader, stocks, Scott Pulsini for futures, and the live analysis now, all based on our educational course. So let's jump into the markets right away and let's see what's going on. We have some really fascinating stuff to take a look at today. In fact, I tweeted out some things we'll go over in a second. So I'm just kind of curious what you guys think about, we'll take a look at the S&P here. You know, we talked about this 4250 level a week ago, last Friday, and now we're down to it. So what do you guys think at this point after a full week of being above that price level where we saw all of that liquidity filled? So are you bearish or are you bullish here? Very, very curious here because, I mean, they're staying in the book here as well on the way down and starting to get filled in here. And we'll go over the Nasdaq in just a minute as well. You know what, just kind of curious what you guys thoughts are here. Good morning, Bert. Also, what you guys think about some of this order flow phenomena that we're going to take a look at here in just a minute. Okay. All right. And yeah, let's jump in. And actually, it's on the NQ that I really wanted to show. Just some crazy stuff in here. I don't know if you guys saw the tweet I sent out. I'll post it or I'll show it here. We have the on chart indicator. Okay, here, let me show the tweet. I think you guys will get a kick out of this. You know, I just noticed this as in the background, and look at this iceberg in here. Just crazy stuff. Okay, so you know, large iceberg, it transacts for 360, following this all the way down. All right, so and then notice the stop run afterwards here, but follows this all the way down, getting filled all the way down. Now the question is, like, you know, what's their position here? You know, I don't really know. I think the guy's trapped. He's executing the full way. I don't think he's trying to get short, but maybe, you know, I don't think he's initiating. I think he's more trapped. That's kind of the behavior when we see such an aggressive iceberg like this. Yeah, could be getting filled for initiating a short position as well, and wanted this high price here. Anyway, yeah, let me know your guys' thoughts on that. This was today. This was earlier this morning. No, just around 9 o'clock here, as you can see. And then let's go back one though to take a look at the follow-up. You just can't make this stuff up. So let's take a look at this image. Here was that iceberg here on the way down. Well, they actually started getting filled up here, right? But look at the icebergs buying right on the other side here. You know, it's actually, this is kind of erroneous, this little dotted line. You can see the little blue line up here. It starts right around here, which is probably what, you know, somewhere around this kind of 390 level or so, something like that. But, you know, several icebergs in here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. At this moment, you know, this was 925 before the open. They want to be long. So we're seeing some really interesting stuff in here. Not sure exactly what to make of it yet. So let's take a look at this NQ and see what's going on. My God. Yeah, well, here's that iceberg. And here there were several getting filled on the way back up. Okay, previously. Okay, in this area here. Now I'm going to have to kind of mess with the settings a bit. Okay, take off the automatic setting here. Did I do it? Hold on. Ah, it's still on 20 something. Okay, there we go. Yeah, well, here it is. I mean, there's their behavior. Yeah, most of them got filled in here. Yikes. Anyway, some interesting stuff. Look at this. Nasdaq executed by 907 icebergs contracts here. Wow. Anyway, lots of stuff going on. We knew this was going to be an important level in the S&P here, and indeed it is, this 4250. We'll cover the topic of this webinar here is about the candlesticks and market structure, and we'll cover it here and go through all of this order flow phenomena at the same time. But I just want to bridge that gap. We're always talking about market structure, but I also want to show that in the candlesticks, and so we can bridge the gap between the higher time frame and the lower time frame here. Look at all this liquidity getting filled down here at big area here at this 42.40, as you guys can see. Large icebergs as well. I mean, there's just a lot of stuff going on here on Friday here today. So anyway, let me see some of your questions in here, or maybe some of your comments. Good morning, Tom. Oh boy. Okay. So you're looking at 42.20. And let's see you guys over in Discord here. Okay, no comments in Discord. I'm kind of curious. See the well, anyway, all right. Well, let's take a quick read here and see what's going on. I mean, we see the sell-off here, 9:30. God, crazy stuff. Look, I mean, icebergs getting filled. Stop run here. Icebergs getting filled on the short side. Nice move down. Are they buying? Are they covering in this area here? Probably covering some. And then look at this selling on the other side in here. Large icebergs. Just lots of stuff going on here. All right, so let's take a look here. Well, I mean, we're going to remain bearish here due to this move here at the open until we see something different. I mean, you can even see the overnight here. We're bearish until we see something different. Some strong buying just before the open, it looks like. Yep. And then they did kind of breach this this area here, hit these stops up here, and then we had the strong sell-off through the figure and or that half figure into the 40 level. And then let's zoom in a little closer here. Okay, so sellers in control, and yeah, just some back and forth in here. Quite a bit of buying and selling in these areas, but the structure is what we want to take a look at. Okay, now they are slightly breaking it here, but here we are down here and we're breaking it now, so we're still looking for continuation to the downside. This is not a lot of selling right now. This could be a nice trap, but we got to go with the order flow, and we're looking for the continuation here. Now if this might be a false breakdown, let's take a look here. Then what we're looking for is the scenario here. Lots of buyers up here to come back to these guys at 44. Let's see if we get a clear answer here. Okay, we're always looking for clarity in the order flow here. And I mean, this was a strong auction up here at this top edge here, top of the range, but we need to see the those buyers come back in again here. Anyway, not seeing much at the moment. We do see the bid starting to show some size here, but they are getting filled. Wow. Okay, all right. Can we get buyers back up above it? Let's see. They're still on the bid here. Okay, we're starting to get some buyers. All right, buyers, you got it. Let's see the move here, not just to this swing. Now, if you're getting long in here, and this is not a trade recommendation, but if you are looking at this and you're looking at the bid and you're taking a shot at it here, then you look for, now it would be more of a scalp, but you look for the swing here, okay, to be tested. It's up to you if you want to take some off there or move your stop up, but it's got to get above here, okay, on buying. Looks like we're going to get, well, we might get a short squeeze here with these guys if they can feel the pinch, but it's not looking good for following through here. Let's just watch this here. Still watching this bid. This is not high probability. I need to mention that here. If this big red dot up here were green, it would be a lot higher probability, a lot higher. Okay, we would look for this, not only this kind of 40 level, but 44, 45 up here. Okay, so yeah, it looks like the structure is still holding here. The negative structure, the bearish structure, is still holding here. All right, sellers, then you got to come in then, and let's see the move into this 36 and below. Yep, there we go. Okay, a little bit of buying. Okay, now the buyers are coming in. Okay, we want to see it up here though at 40. Structure is still holding. We went above this little swing, but that doesn't really matter too much. And this can initiate our discussion here in structure, and just how important it is. Today, I mean, there's a lot of volatility in here in this order flow. So, we got to look for that clarity in here. I mean, there's just, there's a lot of liquidity down here, 680 contracts, 208, 214. So we're watching this here and watching this context and relationship right now. And we're trying to glean something from it. Right now, it's kind of challenging. That's why we're going with structure. Okay, and we'll continue on here. And yeah, the structure is still saying, sell side here, as you guys can see. There they go. Okay, now this 680, let's watch this context here. They are transacting. We also have an iceberg right at it. Okay, currently in the market. Okay, they very little, 139 contracts traded here at 35. That was it. They traded through these guys here though. Okay, there's our buyers. All right, now they really have to lift it here. Now there's the trap, or the on the other side, the liquidity here. Okay, all right, buyers, let's see it now. Let's see if you can test up to here at 40. Just looking for the test back up into, well, maybe 41 here. Okay, and they're starting to pick up though. Okay, they've traded down here. They tangled with this 680 contracts down here at 35, but that was short-lived. Very, very little traded down there. Okay, so look again though at this. The negative structure is still holding. Okay, and we got to cover that. That is the topic here of the webinar. We're still making lower lows in here, or lower highs, I'm sorry, and lower lows. Okay, we're just watching though. We're waiting. This kind of buying in here is good. We want to see that, and we want to see that continuation here. If that's going to happen, if that scenario is going to play out here. I'm looking for it. We start to see some of this, and we start to see some of this up in here. It looks pretty good. It auctioned up here at 44, so I'm looking for it to return back to 44. And we have these guys on the bid, and they are getting filled in here, and they didn't tangle with these guys down here at 35. So let's see if these buyers can come in again. Okay, looking for the bid. Nothing on the bid here. This is not what we're looking for. We're getting our buyers though up here at 39 or 40. Okay, so yeah, would love to see the bid really light up underneath, and a stop run up into probably 44. That's what I'd love to see. That. Let's see it, buyers. This one thing, again, not high probability, just because look at how dark this is underneath here. Okay, we know they got filled in here, the buyers did. Now they got to move it. Okay, one of the a very good way to move it is to show high liquidity underneath. Okay, to pull on the offer, add on the bid, find these aggressive buyers in here. Here we go. Let's see it. Now this is likely going to be a fast move. So you know, hold on to your hats basically. Okay, and it should be a nice stop run too. There's a little bit on the bid, and the reaction was buyers. Here's a little more on the bid, reaction, muted. Some buying, still buying. Just kind of curious what the structure here. All right, let's see it, buyers, right here, right now, looking for that big green dot and the move up into 44. And then also possibly back to the figure here, 42.50 retest here. Let's zoom out and look at our bigger picture here. Again, none of these are trade recommendations, nor are they really high probability. Sometimes it's so obvious and we know it's, you know, very, very likely going to go to an area. It's doing it. It's doing it. But we really want to see it, you know, that bid, that combination. There's some back and forth in here right now. So even this, look at this volume here compared to some of this volume over here. Okay, we want to see this kind of volume over here in the current market, and we're not really getting that, right? So we're just noting these different things in here. All right, let me we're going to wait to see how this plays out here. I think we're going to get some back and forth, but I need to go over the risk disclosure and also want to show you an event for later today. General disclosure: all Bookmap Limited materials, information, and presentations are for educational purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice nor recommendations. Risk disclosure: trading futures, equities, and digital currencies involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right, so we got that. That is important, but let's take a look here at some of the other comments. Yeah, last Friday, Jonathan, he said that said look for the market move up and the rest of the day, maybe into Monday. Yep, exactly. It happened Friday. Exactly as I called it. Well, no, I mean, boy, it took all week for that to happen, and you can see the volatility around this level here. And now it's not, some sort of like a crystal ball, Nostradamus type of action in here. It was just the order flow. We just noticed the order flow. And we're noticing it now too. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on in here right now. So this is, these larger players in here, they don't really know either. I mean, we're looking for it, we're waiting for it, we're watching for it, their actions in here. And we noted that this volume over here is not the same as this, right? So anyway, we didn't even get to 44. We did break this one. That's good. Okay. But we got to get up here, and we need to break this one. Now it's poised to do that, or it's possible to do that because of the volume that transacted up here, and some that traded up here too. Okay, but equally, look at the volume down in here, right? So and the structure in here. Now it broke the small structure here. The bigger structure is still bearish here. We did not break this one up here. All right, so let's see here. Trap shorts of the weak hands. Trapping shorts on the weaker hands. Thank you, Michael. Let's see. Well, okay, so a good question, Major Tom. If it hits 44, will it continue? That's what we need to see. But what we know what to look for in that scenario. I mean, if they're going to continue, you're going to see some pretty massive buying up here. We should, at least. Probably bigger than these dots here, and it'll probably go straight to it. At least that's a scenario, and we have to be open to that scenario. All right. Think like a retail trader, don't act like one. Yeah, well, the retail traders, I mean, they're going to be all caught. I mean, I think even the larger players are all caught up in this, to be honest. I think everyone's all caught up in this right now. It's very, very sensitive. And we can see that in the price action right now. I think it's larger and smaller players. I mean, they're supporting it down here. Let's just zoom out. Where's our 4250? Our 4250 is here. Yeah, I mean, it's just all over the place. I mean, there's one thing that really stands out on this chart. Then there's no question about that. This is heavy selling, okay, on the way down here, down to 40. Now we're trying to glean some sort of insight here at 40. And the only thing that we can glean right now is market structure, to be honest. Okay, so and that is what I wanted to cover in here. Let's take a look at the market structure and look at we'll look at the candlesticks on the higher time frame. Now, market structure, we're going to take off these on the chart here, and we're just going to look at best bid and offer. Okay, here it is. Okay, so this is where you got your trap volume, and you typically see this around the open. One goes one way, or they're getting a better price. Larger players are getting a better price up at this area here as they also knock out people that were positioned pre-market, and then just strong move away here. Okay, but look at the market structure here, and let's get rid of our lines in here. Well, here's what we got, right? So strong move. The pullback here has been pretty weak, and then we're looking for noticing just on the bid in here a lot getting filled. So we're looking for our buyers here, and we're looking for this structure to break. So when we first came in into this here, here's 10 a.m. And we're thinking, well, okay, auctioned up here, pretty high volume. It pulls down. We make a lower low here. We get heavy volume down here, and then we're looking though. It's like, wow, these buyers can come back in, try to move it back up here, and if they can get back up above this, we should get the nice move back up into like probably 50, 42.50, I would imagine. But the structure here is telling us this is a really important element I think in trading in general. Doesn't matter if it's a structure of volume, your volume profile. It doesn't matter if it's your candlestick structure, but just market structure. And I think best bid and offer does a really good job of, probably better than those other two methods here, because we can see all of the activity in here and all the nuances. Yeah, here it is. It's right in front of us. Okay, so we are making lower lows and lower highs. And we came from a strong move here. Right, so that's fact. Now let's take a look here. Okay, so let's see, can we make an equal high here? Okay, so yeah, I'd be looking for buyers to come in here actually and come back up, because we made a higher low here, and I know there's some volume in here. I should probably take off the bars and be a little more objective, so we don't look at any volume. Okay, but we need to come back up. This would be the first move here. Come back up above this structure or swing here, and I'd be very, very careful though here. This is where we need to see that massive volume. We need to see that bid really light up, the larger players will move that market away from this area quickly, right? Because we have a volume or a value area in here, we'd be looking for it to move quickly away from that area. Right now you can see that we're starting to curl a little bit back down in here, this made a lower high still. Okay, so yeah, we're still, the structure is still negative. It's still bearish. And this one here, a slightly higher low in here, is kind of interesting. Kind of watching that one here. All right, and we're watching this as the potential trap here. The swing here, a lower swing, okay, but we can get like maybe a boost up above here, and then this is where we want to be really careful here. So like right now we can trade it on up, basically. Not a trade recommendation, but you start to see these moves and look for at least the test to these areas here. That's pretty likely. Okay, it's pretty likely. Now it's here though that we really want to pay attention, because in here, how many times have we seen like this kind of lower high swing? It goes above it, but into an area where there's sellers initiated the move here, and then this is a false breakout above this high. Okay, this is actually a really great setup to look for. Okay, so you look for that spike above it, and then the move continues to the downside. Now this one's a little different here, because usually it's that swing we're talking about here is down here, somewhere around in here. And then we're looking for the kind of spike above it, and then the failure. So the structure still remains the same, but these are very close to each other, right? So and we know that they traded up here, those buyers, and we'll take a look and see what the buying was up here as well. Okay, so here we are back up here now. Like I said, if you're looking for this and you think this is going to happen, okay, like maybe it starts to break out from this swing on up here, you can scalp it back up into these areas. And it's something to consider, right? Move your stop to break even, take some off, but hold for that larger potential move here. Okay, so at least you take some off. You're looking for that higher probability. It's not much. You're not getting much out of it. You're getting a couple of points or so. But that's not the point of it here. It's that you can trade it back up into these areas. Okay, but that's where you might consider managing your trade very aggressively at that point. All right, so anyway, structure, yeah, just kind of made it equal high here, maybe slightly higher. So not much to kind of glean from that at the moment. All right, let's see what else. Yeah, that's a good question. Like, is the order flow in here? We'll see some sort of like phenomenon in here that usually it gives us some insight to this being a false breakout. Okay, so we need to turn on the volume dots and bars, and also that heat map to get some insight here. And not much insight. Okay, so yeah, the trading up here, not much to write home about. We already knew that previously. This is much better, though. This is much better. Okay, so the potential is there. Okay, can you guys see the distinction in here? Okay, so we're watching it. Okay, maybe a bounce off of 39 high volume node, or somewhere around in here. Yeah, not much to really hang our hats on right now. Yet again, this is much better here than previously, but this is still just range bound. We can see sellers bring it back down to somewhere around here and make a slightly higher. They made a slightly higher high. Maybe they'll make a slightly higher low in here. They are bidding up underneath here. So still not much to write home about right now. We're trying to get some sort of insight here, though, and just talking through the order flow. Yeah, we can take a look at the VPOC in here. Das, I don't know what else to say about the false breakout or breakdown. Look for the trap. There is some stuff we can talk about, actually. Yeah, we look for the trap. Here, we'll probably see an example in here. There's a couple examples in here. They're not the cleanest, though. Why do I trade the ES? Well, most people want to look at, Johnny, that want to look at the ES. No, it's super liquid. No, it's yeah, and that's why you get all these kind of pullbacks and retests and reversals, etc. Okay, Doug. Thanks, Doug. You got something in there for potential hero kickoff long setup if aggressive buyers and stop orders start to fuel the move higher. Yeah. Let's take a look here. This is what Doug guys, this is over in our Discord if you want to come over and take a look there. Doug had posted this. Doug looks at a lot of options. Okay, so he's just noticing a lot of the buying in here with the triangles. Here's 21,000, 2,000, 1,000, 3,000, 2,000, and we can see hero starting to spike. It's this green line, right? Yeah, so it's your green line here. So there's a lot of option, or a lot of hedging of the options. So they are buying futures here to hedge it. Okay, this is another thing that can give us a lot of insight. Okay, that's from Spot Gamma. Guys, I just since I'm not seeing much in here yet, you know, and on Fridays too, like, you know, boy, we can look for something, some really big trapped volume. It looks like it really wants to go one way, and then watch it go the other way, and then the rest of the day it will just grind that direction. Okay, so I mean, there's a lot of kind of people on edge here, I think, within all of this area here. There's just buying and selling all over the place. Yeah, yeah. Thanks, Major Tom. Yeah, they pulled down here. So these guys are no longer in here. All right. Well, then let's see if we can get. They're pulling up here as well. Let's see if we get buyers here. Maybe this market is getting ready here. They're on the bid here. That's good. Got to get these buyers in here. Just being on the bid doesn't matter. It's these buyers here. And this is perfect in here. If we get those buyers, this is perfect. We're above the point of control, and we just need to see a ton of buying up here to move it away from the point of control. Okay, that scenario is certainly not unfolding at the moment. Okay, back to point of control. Yeah, what I wanted to show here. So there was a request for on our YouTube page, or for an event. We did the heat map webinar a week or two ago. So it was suggested to do one on trading volume. So it's at 2 p.m. Today. Okay, so East Coast time. If you guys want to come to that, it's in our Discord room and here on YouTube as well. Here, I'll put the link into the chat for you guys. Hold on. Okay. Yeah, that all of these are saved, Nick. Just if you want to come to, it'll be live analysis. We always try to do live analysis. Guys, I just don't see any edge in here. I really don't. Look at this. I mean, there's buyers in here. There's a little bit more buying in this very, very narrow range in here. And that's about it. Here we go. Okay, now, boy, I don't know. I just don't see anything. I think what's going to happen here is we got to get one big event to unfold, and then the opposite to happen later, or immediately after. Okay, so we can talk about some of these. I guess so we'll cover maybe some of the false breakdowns. So and maybe we'll get one right now. Let's see here. Okay, here come our sellers. All right, so now sellers, this is heavy selling, looking for them to drive it away here. All right, so yeah, I would look for this. This is let's see, it's only 3 points right now. It's kind of in that range here, but here are the two scenarios we're looking for. All right, the sellers driving it away. Okay, now see equal buying coming right back. That negates all of that. In fact, it's even greater buying in here. Okay, now because of that, let's get back up to point of control, more buying, and then I think the buyers have it here. This is your false breakdown right here. Okay, so now we're looking for our buyers up here. We're looking for, there was a stop run to the downside. Okay, so I originally thought they're going to continue to move it, and then all of this buying came right back in. Okay, so this is kind of what we were talking about, this false kind of move, get people going, and then watch it grind here. Okay, so now back to 44, and maybe we can get up into 42.50 now. Okay, is there enough buying pressure to sustain that? Let's watch this here. Okay, so we got up to here, and just a small pullback at the moment. Okay, buyers, let's see it. You're going to move it away. Here we go. Let's see it. Looking for it. Okay, 44. That's enough to get a lot of people off sides here. So yeah, I would look for this move to 44. Again, not a trade recommendation. Gotta say that. This is an order flow reading room, and what we're kind of answering Dostas's question here about what does a false breakdown look like. Okay. And look at the structure in here. So this was the breakdown here on heavy volume, heavy sell volume, but it didn't really break the structure. The lows here. Note these guys in here providing liquidity at the most traded level here, and no selling. Buyers, they should be able to lift it. Should be able to lift it here. Okay, there's the bid starting to show a bit more, and we looking for our stop run above it here, above here, above 44. Just not finding them. Still not finding the buyers up here. Nick, yeah, I mean, like, was actually selling, or was that actually selling, or stops being triggered? It's both. You can see the big stop run here. We can go in and take a look at it now. See the selling in here again, like, and there's even more. But if buyers can get back up above it, watch the stop run. Okay, up into 45. This would be the trap in here. And looking for, there's our big green dot. Okay, now it's only up to here, but that's good. Boy, in fact, it's a slightly lower high, but that's it. Okay, one more retest. Come on, buyers, you can get back up here at 43.5. Guys, anyway, look about the okay, so even in this move in here, look, we can talk more about this. I got to get to the structure that I promised to go over. However, Dostos, you brought up a good question. I think it's very worthy to review this again and again and again. Look at the buying in here was more powerful than this selling in here. I mean, you can see it in the bars, you can see it in the dots. Okay, we noted it in real time, therefore we're looking for the higher move. This is the trap. Okay, and they haven't even come near these guys yet. Okay, all of this in here, and these guys did get filled down here as well. You know, so we're looking for the move higher. Now, what we want to look for in this move higher is that strong, consistent buying, like here. Okay, because they moved it away from all of this selling pretty nicely. Okay, strong and consistent buying on the way up. Okay, in here there's still more buyers at these higher highs, right? But they're selling in here too. Okay, that strong move, then we're looking for a shallow pullback and continuation, or at least back up to the high in the structure. Okay, in the volume and in the structure. Now, when it's not that strong, what you'll see a lot of times is you'll see this kind of volume. It's not the greatest example. However, what we're looking for is where we get, you know, maybe some volume in here, not that strong move, but there's a lot of selling in here. Then you can look for the false breakout. Okay, so it's these guys that are trapped in here. That's where the strong volume took place. Okay, so if we can get our strong selling down here, they can move it away from that area. Okay, so I'll try to, you know, show you the example here. So the strong buying kind of, this is where I would look for a retest actually, back here by the sellers. Okay, back to this kind of 41 and a quarter area here. We're right there. We're already there. Okay, now the question is, can they move it below these guys, or are the buyers going to come in and initiate again? Are they going to start buying again? Now this is a nuance in here, but it's really important to understand. Okay, these stronger moves in here. That's what we're really talking about, is the stronger moves and where they are. So look again here, strong buying. Here's a pullback, a little bit below where they kind of initiated, but followed by strong buying. Okay, so look, we come back down here again. Look again, see the strong buying in here. Okay, now up in here we're starting to note something though. Now I know this is all hindsight, and it's not. This is not easy. In hindsight, you know, yeah, it's easy as can be. However, you know, there's still more buying in here. So we know that they're buying off of this level. Okay, but when we start to notice maybe lower highs in here and strong selling, which we don't see that right now. You know, it's some selling in these little pockets in these areas here, which we don't see. You know, we're still looking for this to go higher. Okay, instead we got the sellers that moved it away, but they just moved it down to the swing. And then that strong buying came in once again. Okay, so this is what we want to note, and we want to note the context back to those areas here. Okay, so now do we see that up in here? No, right? Okay, we're seeing it actually here now. Okay, so the likely move now is down. Okay, down to lows of the day and continuation now, watching for it. Okay, so these guys are starting to move it down to the low, and now we're looking for our strong selling. Now let's take a look at that strong selling. Let's kind of analyze it here and be consistent with it here. Okay, this selling in here, not pretty good in here too. Okay, well, it's not, and it is consistent, and the point move is good. These red dots in here, and when we talk about the size of red dots, and I know it sounds not so scientific, but it is relative volume. Okay, look at the relative volume of the buying coming in right now. Okay, so that makes this all much more convoluted all of a sudden. Okay, is this relative volume in here? Yeah, I know it doesn't, it really like doesn't sound all that scientific, but here again, see where that volume took place in here, and then here's where the buyer's trying to move it away. Okay, all we've done now is retest back to that area here. Okay, so is this going to turn into a trap here? If so, then we're looking for buyers to move it back up to here where these sellers dropped it, 41. Okay, or maybe even here, 40, 41. Yeah, I don't think we have any intention, Alan, to come up with Fibonacci retracements. Thank you. Camarilla, you want to look at gold? Okay. And cumulative volume delta, okay. Well, I don't want to turn my head away from this here. Something's going to move, and it's likely going to happen pretty soon. Okay, here come the sellers here. Okay, so now these sellers, these strong selling down in this area here, and that strong buying in here, these guys are likely not stopped out. These guys are going to get stopped out in here. Okay, so I would give the nod here to the sellers. I think they got it. I think all of this up here, we should see a very, very strong stop run to the downside here. Okay, and this could turn into our really strong move that we're looking for. Okay, so now how do you position yourself for something like that? Okay, well, you know, somewhere in here, maybe you get a slight pullback in here. It's tricky. It's really tricky stuff. We're looking for insight here, and getting in down here is just a horrible entry. You know, and that buying can come in and try to do that trap above the kind of 37.5 here. It's tricky. I don't know. I like to take a look at this in here and trade it down to that area, try to take some off and then hold it. Look for if it does move, I look for pullbacks and try to get back into it again, and then I've caught the strong move I'm looking for, right? Something like that. That's one method here. Yes, Bert, when that liquidity pulled at 42.35, does that mean it's easier or likely uh, uh, to go there because the magnet is gone? How do you interpret it? Well, again, I think it's just that context here. So here's our 35 level in here. It pulled, but they came down and tested just around there. And then we saw the buying in here. So it's really, I mean, the context in here on this in this limit order book is not telling us too much in here when this kind of action happens. It's hard to interpret right now. The magnet here, the attraction to this liquidity is gone, but it also means that sellers can't reach these buyers any longer. All right, well, still looking here sell side. Okay, looking for a test down to this liquidity. 30, 31, 33. Let's see the point move here. The point move below the swing here is actually what we want to look at, and it's not much. 36 down to 33. It's, again, 3 points, right? That puts us in that range where we just don't know. When we see it move like 4 or 5 S&P points on a strong, consistent move, then that's pretty good. We look there, we start to look at those areas that larger players are moving away from a value area. Challenging day. Yep, I agree, Michael. Nice to put your feet up and watch. Yeah, I have my feet to the fire. Well, I mean, look, the easiest, I just learned over the years, um, read the order flow. Just whatever the chart is telling us, read it, and don't be biased. Um, look, if you have a bias, it's kind of in the back of your mind and you're looking for the order flow to support it. Okay, the more objective you are at reading the order flow and what the participants are telling us in the auction, the easier the job is. And it likely plays out that way, the way that you're looking for it to play out. Okay, because you're reading the participants. Okay, and this in here was really challenging to read that the participants. Buyers up here, sellers down here. Low, I mean, the structure is lower high, but then we even the structure started to change a little bit. Here's your higher low. Here's your higher low. Here's a slightly kind of equal high, and then this is equal high as well. And I don't think it broke it. And then the sellers come in down to this area. Sellers come in again. Okay. So anyway, let's kind of recap a little bit on something, and then I want to get to what I promised to get to here. And again, the recap here would be on that trap volume, okay, and understanding the stronger moves and making the distinction between the stronger moves and then like that strong volume but it's not really a strong move. Okay, that's where the trap can occur here. So we can look at a range in here, for example, and what if we get buyers back up above it here? That's the trap, right? So there's your strong selling, but it doesn't matter. Strong selling is at the end of the move here. And it can get upended. Okay, there's our strong selling, but into high liquidity. Okay, well, the transaction took place. Okay, now look at even this move in here. Okay, let's just see this. Let's see, are we going to continue here? Making lower lows for the day. Okay, now here's your trap, potential trap above here. Okay, look at this volume in here. Look at them on the bid already. Okay, so now here's a way to take a look at it. If we get that buy volume up here above the area, we're looking for a move first to point of control of this range, probably about here, or where these sellers initiated. These are tradable events. Look into it, study it, but these are tradable events. Okay, and they can be very high probability events. And you can still be, I mean, it's a counter trend move here. Okay, even top of the range here, other side of the range. Okay, it's something you'll have to study and look for. In the order flow, what can really help in here is the bid is strong and the reaction is buyers. Okay, because the liquidity on the offer is up here, 36, 36 and a half. All right, so let's see if this trap plays out or if we get continuation to the downside. Okay, let's see it, buyers. You got it. Starting to build some volume here. And the funny thing about the trap is it can take all of this effort to move this market down, and it doesn't take a whole lot to squeeze it right back up. Okay, there's our squeeze. Okay, so and we're just looking for up to here. Okay, so somewhere around in here, 33. Boy, these are small trades, guys. It's not giving us much. A couple different ways to consider managing it. Boy, I'd be stopped out right now at break even on that. I would not sit through this. It might still do it, but I would move my stop to break even on that. I just, you know, if the sellers get below this area here, we have the potential for the move down, and I don't want to be part of that event. So we're talking about trade management in here with this kind of order flow trap volume event. See, it's just better to stay away from this kind of stuff. Okay, there's the dump down into 31. Oh boy, yeah. I mean, the market structure is. I mean, here's our strong move here, but we were looking for that potential pullback to about 42.50. Okay, in that scenario. But yeah, I would agree. That, you know, the bigger move here is move down, sideways consolidation, move down. This is true. I mean, that little move back up into here is tricky as well, just because of this in here. Someone came in and just dumped it. So same move happened on Nasdaq. This is a stop run as well. Large iceberg. Well, I shouldn't say that. In that time frame, it is. Okay, guys. Well, now it's getting a lot clearer, huh? So yeah, not the greatest read on that. And you know, I thought it was tricky. We saw these sellers come in, but boy, it was looking good for these buyers up here. And then once we got below here, we were really kind of watching in here, but this is where it just got tricky in here. Looking again for a trap, right? We outlined the trap, okay, but sellers still in it. And again, trap, you know, come back up into here. Nope. This is where it got upended right here. And that's hard to read. Okay, and they've set the tone and direction now. This move here. Yeah, it's a good point. Oh boy, I'm with you. I mean, like this will, I think, start to play nicely into what we have here as understanding market structure and candlesticks, and the continuation. Well, now the continuation move here. Okay, so now this is the stronger move. Like this is good, consistent buy or selling into these lower areas of liquidity. Okay, and it really started here. These were harder, I thought, although the structure, look, and that's why I wanted to cover structure, and we should just go over structure again and again and again. Such an important part to understand. We understand structure, we're like halfway there, okay, and then it's the order flow with the volume, and then also the order book. Okay, so let's take a step back here. Yeah, we got another 15 minutes or so before the European close, and I don't see any buyers coming in yet. So this is the grinding move we talked about. Once the direction is set, and it just continues to grind. And oh boy, had some good insight there. Okay, pullbacks are going to happen. You know, likely we're getting our pullback now. You know, maybe right back up into 30 here. The first one here, this is why we look at these swings in the pullbacks here. The first one is here. Can you get buyers back up above it? We'll go to the next one here or here. Okay, the next one is here at 29 and then 30. But this move from here on down 33 to 25, I mean, this is a big move, right? They've set the tone and direction. Okay, so now, are we going to build some profiles out in here on some of the pullback? Or are we going to just like go back and forth in here for a while? Or are we going to start to trend? Anyway, let's take a look at our bigger candlestick chart here. Okay, so this was here it is, 42.50 here. This was Friday, right in here, last Friday, 1 week ago. Monday, it was Monday, we had the retest of 42.50, and we got more buyers back up above it, making higher highs. See the here's that trap or the same concept on the much higher time frame. In fact, we gap down into that area and now we're below it. All right, this concept is the same here. This is the hourly chart. Here's the selling down below it, driving it away. Okay, on this hourly chart then, yeah, I'd be looking for probably down to here, 4208 or 4200, the figure. Okay, this hourly chart, let's just look at a look back of 1 week. Yeah, here's that move higher, and now the lower move below 4250. This looks great. I mean, this is why it's so important to look at your higher time frame in your structure. Let's look at our daily over here on the left. Here's our 4200 right here. This is a great area. There's even a little wiggle in here, and then the continuation on up. And that little wiggle in there is due to this swing high back on May. End of May. Okay, so we'll be watching that. We watched this whole thing unfold. We were looking for the came back in August after vacation. We're looking for the move back up and to test these areas in here. I truly thought that what we would see up here is a spike above it and then the continuation back down lower. Nope. The other scenario played out. We spiked above it here and we got continuation. Okay, and then let me draw up the line in 4250 in here as well. All right, where is it? Horizontal line 4250. Okay, all right, and then you can see it here pretty nicely. So yeah, I really like this area here for a retest right now, and I think we can get it today. This is a pretty big red candle and continuation just down to this area here. So 42. That's about 30 points away, 28 points away right now. Okay. Anyway, that's a higher time frame outlook. And guys, this is the trap up here. This is what we're talking about. Same idea, same concept. And then the gap is illustrating that pretty nicely in here. And then let's look at our 15-minute chart on the right. Yeah, if we get any pullbacks, it's likely back to structure or the bottom of the structure here, 34, 35, and then yeah, continuation to the downside. Okay, at least that 15-minute chart, something like that. And it's already retested there a few times during this webinar. And then now we're getting the pull away. So maybe we'll just get continuation. So let's look at the order flow and see what's going on. Okay. So anyway, yeah, here's our pull back to 30. Okay, we're still bearish though. All right. It's because of this. Well, we saw this whole move initiate. It was right here. It was this guy here. Okay, there's an iceberg in there that's getting filled on the way back up into it, right in here. Okay. So look at this. This is a pretty nasty move here, guys. And I think I should have zoomed in here earlier to show this. This is something you can take away. All right. I think is very helpful to understand here. We have a stop run. Okay. Then let's take a look at the stops. How many are stops in here? Okay. So let's turn on our stops. Okay. This is the critical point. All right, so I'll wait for our stops. There it is. Okay, so 108. All right, 108 are stops. Now the stops are actually getting filled here. So although it looks like it's some massive stop run, this is an aggressor dumping, moving price away. Maybe they're exiting, but I really doubt it. I think this is moving it away from the area, hitting some stops. Here's why. Look at how nasty this move is. All right, now this is where you're going to get some edge here with order flow. right? Boy, I should have gone over it earlier. But this is, I mean, has its fingerprints all over it here. They're dumping, moving price away, back on the bid after the move down here, after the stop run here, on the bid absorbing with an iceberg. And we're not talking a small iceberg here. Okay, that's 1829. Okay, contracts. Right, all the way to here. Fully executed iceberg. Absorbing as much as they can. Fully executed. And then let's see how it doesn't even go against them. Or it goes one tick or two ticks against them. That was it. Okay, it's a nuance on the chart, but it means everything. We couldn't get any clarity. This is pretty clear, I believe. We'll you know, I'll tweet this out or do something with it. But this is a big event here, and this is why Scott looks at these kinds of big events like this as well. And they moved it away from that area. All right, so let's mark it up. All right, so if this is such a big event, all right, are these guys going to get tested by buyers here? Let's take a look. Here's where that iceberg took place, 31. Here's where they dumped it here at 33. Okay. And that cost them a lot of money to dump it, because we know, we zoom in here, 108 are stops. Only 108 are stops. Okay, we'll look at the volume here. I don't know how much that adds up to, but you know, this is going to be, I don't know, 1,000 or something. And this event took place in, well, it started here, okay, at 8:10, okay, to 990 or so. Well, this is, so 990, okay, so like, you know, 200 milliseconds basically. All right, 200 milliseconds, a blink of an eye, a blink of a human eye. Right, so we'll mark this area up here. Let's take a look at what happens if we get back to that area here. Okay, because that's the important area. Yeah, it's pulled back there. Okay, well, if that's it and they set the tone here, let's see if the other players follow suit. They're on the offer here. We're starting to find some sellers. Okay, if we get sellers here, looking for the move back down to here or here. Okay, back down to 27, 26 and a half. Okay, sellers, here we go. We should get our move, or looking for our move to unfold down to 26 and a half. All right, guys. Well, anyways, in this webinar here, this is the best thing we've seen so far. Was that move, and that happened in 200 milliseconds. Okay, that's given us the most clarity. what I wanted to cover in this webinar, so I'm covering it at the end of the webinar here. What I wanted to cover in here is looking at candlesticks, okay, and structure in areas here. And then we know that there's wicks up here, so we know there's sellers up here. We know there's buyers down here, there's wicks here. And then, here's the same idea, same concept of the sellers moving it away from that area here. Okay, it was just a tough read. There were some wicks in here, went back and forth, and then finally we got the read from that guy around 30 to 32 or so, right, or 33. So somewhere around in here, I feel set the tone here. But we're looking at the structure in here, which is very range bound, very choppy. There's wicks on both sides here. Okay. Now what we're looking for in Bookmap is order flow around these areas in here, okay, and also the most traded level at the point of control. Okay, and who's going to take control? And oh boy, pointed out, or we did too as well early, but the overall move is below the 42.50, and it's pretty strong. It was pretty strong selling. The open was here, slightly moved higher, and then boom, down below this area here, 42.50. Okay, so this took a week to work out, and it was all sorts of shenanigans up here all week long. And we were waiting for this we were waiting for it on Monday to unfold, and we just kept going higher. So anyway, that's the structure reading on this smaller time frame here, and the move away from structure. Okay, now we can take a look also at the structure in here, and let's turn the on chart icebergs off and stops and icebergs, and the structure in here. Okay, and we can look at candles in here as well, but the structure in here is the downtrend, and then the open is here, right around in here, slightly moved higher, did break this small structure here, but this is the false breakout. And then look at here, again, same ideas. This is where they broke out from this previous little area in here on some pretty strong buy volume, and now we're looking for pretty strong sellers below that area. Okay, so let's look at this, because this is also another just beautiful kind of trap area in here. Okay, typically we see our flips of the order book in here, things like that. They're on the offer up in these areas here. They're on the bid here, and then trade on through this area here on strong volume, and then they're on the offer. Okay, looking for pullbacks and the continuation here. Okay, so you can see that kind of behavior in here on the bid, on the offer here, okay, in here. Right, so we look for this kind of liquidity here to trade. Even the S&P had some crazy stuff going on here right before the market. Look at this, all of these traders lined up, okay, layering in at these different price levels here before the open. Okay, this does, I don't get any clarity out of this, to be honest. Yesterday we saw something in gold that it was very clear. Okay, so kind of a spoof on the offer, and then heavy liquidity on the bid like this, but very heavy, like and on multiple layers. Okay, so getting filled in here a bit, but trying to get price to go lower, and then get the price to move up higher. Okay, so anyway, that's this one's a hard read in this S&P here. They're on both sides, so who knows? It's hard to understand. The spoof is a pretty easy thing to grasp. Skew that order book, get people to drive price away from it because there's massive supply. Have them get filled in icebergs or get filled down in lower liquidity here. That's less than this very high liquidity in here. and then pull all these orders and let price float back up after they get filled. Okay, and then start getting filled here on the offer. Okay, let's see, where are we now? Nothing. Okay, well, this structure that we saw noted in here as being important is they're still in control here. Okay, they're being tested. Okay, let's see it. So they're coming up to test exactly where these guys dropped it from. Volume's not bad on the buy side. And again, look at this up here. Watch the sellers push it back down to here or here. Right? There's our trap. Okay, and we know the larger player is up here. All right, so looking for this event here, looking for I like this point of control. Move down to point of control and see if they can push it through that down to lows. All right, so yeah, here's your pullback. Right now we're looking for the continuation. So here's your pullback around this 31, looking for our sellers here, looking for point of control, and I want to see them push through this 28.50 here. And I said I'd put this on, so let's put it on. Point of control. Actually, point of control is up higher here. Sorry about that. Point of control of this little range in here. And let's see it, sellers. Let's see you push through this and take control of this market again, back down to lows and try to break the lows into 25 and below. Okay, they're on the offer. We're starting to see them. And now we're looking for them to push through. Okay, so guys, we'll go through it again here on the market structure and candles. It's hard to we covered some of it and I tried, but this has really been about kind of difficult reads today and trap volume, and then understanding this larger player move here, yeah, next time I'll zoom into those so we can look at those earlier in detail, because it actually was a very tough, I thought it was kind of a tough read to look at all these different things, and then once we saw that kind of clarity, that shift away here, that's where we have something. That was the best thing so far. So and that does provide us clarity. Okay, now the one thing, the beauty of that is, like, your footprint chart. I saw Moss had a comment on footprint chart and where volume's trading, etc. But you're just like, that kind of transparency is tough to see, or you're just not going to be able to see it on your footprint chart. Okay, so yeah, I know a plug for Bookmap. Yet you're just not going to see it. And look what kind of clarity or insight that this offers here to us. Okay, even this pullback in here, we're going, okay, we're sellers all the way through this area here. We're looking for that trap volume in here. We're looking for the stop to the downside here, the push through that point of control. Okay, and we're still looking for it. Here's another pullback. This is a pullback to your point of control. Well, no, I'm sorry. It's the most traded levels here. We're right at it here at 28.50. And buyers trying to get back up there again. And they're doing it. They're able to. This is where the sellers came in and dropped it though. Okay, still looking for our sellers. This is kind of funny. They're pulling here on the offer and adding on the bid though. Trying to squeeze the sellers in here. And successfully doing it. Okay, back up here. Okay, again, looking for sellers below 30 here. Okay, is this traded back up here? Okay, this is another beautiful little trap in here. All right, sellers. Now this is what I was talking about, looking for some sort of order flow event, like sellers starting to come in, the offer starting to come in, and you can trade it back down to 30 or point of control or high volume node, and then look for the continuation. Okay, so this is talking about market structure and volume within it. Okay, sellers, let's see it. Yeah, Thor, I mean, this whole thing is new for you. Yeah. Well, yeah, I would suggest that, let me show you, I think might be helpful for you. If you guys are new in here, this education is very different than, looking at a few indicators in your candlestick charts. I was trying to, the idea today was to go over the structure and then to look at the candles as well, to bridge that. And we just saw a whole bunch of other things, and it was a little bit challenging. Let me show you here though, like you can go to bookmap.com, click on the more button here, and then go to education, or you can go directly here to education as well on the toolbar. That'll scroll down the main page here and then go to education here. This is kind of a nice little onboarding area, what you learn, and then the course content here. So parts 1, just basic Bookmap basics, getting started. The educational course though, parts 1 and 2, talking about market mechanics and microstructure, and what makes the market move. This is essential. And I would suggest take a look at these first two here, and understand what makes the market move, and forget your education previously. Here we go, guys. The buyers they're still just coming right back to test that major player here. I'm still looking for the sellers to support it. Okay, and so for the move back down here to 28.50 again. Okay, now the order flow is not really, it's this is where bias can get you in trouble, but the order flow here, they're on, they got filled here on the offer, and now they're starting to pull on the bid. Okay, so some tricky stuff. Okay, but we know where that larger player is. Okay, so I'm still looking for him to sell more. This is a deal for him to get more on and look for the continuation lower. Anyway, back to the page here. Yeah, just clear your mind, kick back, watch parts 1 and 2, and try to absorb the education of what we're talking about, because it's very different. But once you understand the mechanics of the market and what makes it move, then you'll be able to apply any kind of strategy to it, what you're looking at and what you're thinking. You know, if it's volume profile, well, that profile is going to have a whole new meaning. If it's candlesticks, it's going to have a whole new meaning. Here, let's take a look at some candlesticks quickly in here. Okay, and we'll look at this is a 5 minute, I think. Yeah. All right, we can start with a 5 minute. Well, here's this big down move, up move here above this here. Okay, I mean we see these wicks, right? But this wick above here, what if we get sellers in your candlestick in here? What if we're looking, we're waiting, we're watching for our sellers around here, around this kind of 31-ish area here? And well, they're still pushing it higher here. Okay, so when is this guy going to get more size on in here? Maybe up here. Maybe up here, 36. This is going to be a squeeze. Okay, maybe a mean reversion back to point of control, 40. I mean, these mean reversion traders are no joke. They will take it back. It could come all the way back here, and you could still be bearish. I'm looking more for just about here, but I'm also looking for this guy to support his trade here. Obviously, it moved the market and affected the market. So when's that going to happen again? So we'll move back to about here, 35 or 36 or 40, and then looking for the sellers here. Okay, we just haven't seen it. In fact, the order flow has been supporting the move up on this here. We're waiting and watching for and putting in these areas here for that move lower. Okay, with this one we saw, I thought we'd come back down in 26 and 24 at that point. We came back up above it. The pivot point here was our 30 level. Okay, the bash above it, bash below it, etc. Okay, now European close is unfolded, and let's see if we can get maybe the continuation here, or a move back down to the downside. Okay, again, looking at this up here. Okay, and then sellers moving it away. A break of the trend line. And let's wait till this candle closes here. So it's kind of come up to that swing basically. Yeah, I would be looking for the move back into the range here on the candlestick. Okay, and that would be, it would likely be right around 31 or so, back into here, and then the continuation. Let's see if we can, maybe we can spot that that larger player. Is he getting on more size in here? He's getting filled. Let's turn on our, what about our icebergs? Not really. Okay. Okay, sellers, let's see it now. Let's see if you can do it. They cannot. Not yet. No. No, still pushing higher. All right, guys. Well, anyway, let's we'll wrap it up here. The buyers are above this larger player that we had marked up in this zone in here. Okay, and they're buying even more. They took this 35 on this liquidity here, 36. Okay, so we're back up to the top. Now we can look at our candlestick chart too. Back to the top of where, or the bottom of the range here. Okay, on a pullback, but the larger move here was to the downside in here. Okay, so the mean reversion is playing out really nicely here. It's even gaining momentum here. Now here's the move to this area here. Okay, so right here is where they dropped it from. Yeah, market really wants it, really wants this. These mean reversion traders, boy, I mean, we see them come in again and again like this. But I'm very curious up here, and we'll leave it at that. Tom B is going for the last 20 minutes or so. You guys can jump over there, and he'll cover this mean reversion and what's going on around this area here, since he's a volume profile trader. So tune into that, guys. I'm really curious to see what happens up here, because you can still be quite sell side here at this point of control. Okay, and are they going to get more size on, reload here, and look for that move back down lower, and looking for our trap volume in specific areas. Again, like looking at the structure, and I mean, these structural areas in here, this is from 35 up to 39. So this is like 4 points. I'm still looking for this to, you know, a mean reversion and then a move back down to test these buyers here, and then try to get back down into the trend here. Okay, but anyway, tough session. Very curious around this point of control here to see what kind of unfolds. And let's go over to YouTube. Hold on a minute here. Okay. If I see a squeeze going, yeah, Floyd, I would jump in it and look for it. But yeah, and in this case, that would, you know, I don't know if I would have here. I was really leaning hard on that larger player. But the order flow was telling us. I mean, they're pulling on the bid or on the offer, adding on the bid, and we're finding buyers. I just thought we'd see a quick trap like we have all session long, and then look for a trend continuation. Thanks, Mark. Yeah, glad you liked it. Well, you know, I actually I thought the whole week was rather challenging, to be honest, because it kept on going higher. Price kept on going higher. It would go lower and then just go higher and higher, and kept pushing and pushing higher. And then, you know, it at a certain point that's going to break, and that's where, you know, I was just so curious today. I was like pretty excited today, or even last night. I saw the move starting lower, and it's like, oh yeah, this is we're going down to the 42. The overnight session, I saw the quick move, or the strong candles in the overnight. So I was looking for this move down to the 42.50 and below, right? So here's what's going on in the structure here in the 15-minute chart. You can see the move to the middle of the range, or the point of control here. We're starting to already find our sellers in here. Okay, now I'm just really curious, do they get some size on, is what I want to know. And do we see that larger player come in yet again? And this looks like him. Let's take a look. Okay, do we see an iceberg in here? No, we don't. We don't see that wicked move, heavy selling, and then followed by an iceberg in here. Okay, so that's kind of funny or curious. So not the same tactic here, but we do see the move lower here. Okay, and a stopper. And in fact, they're buying icebergs in here. Okay, Ben. So yeah, you're looking at your Euro stocks. All right, well, did this guy shift the market again in here? This move lower. I mean, it's a beautiful move to point of control, no question about that. It's perfect, right? And we are lower, All right, guys, let's leave it at that. If you like the video, please give me a thumbs up. If, you know, that helps us. We can do more of these. Look for the event later. The YouTube event we'll have at 2 p.m. and we'll go over more of the order flow too, but we're going to talk about the volume dots, how to read them, and all the different settings and filtering for the volume dots in here. So yeah, looking forward to that. It was requested. We did the heat map one and a candlestick one over the last few weeks or so, we'll go over that, and we'll see you at 2. All right, so good trading out there, and we'll see what kind of unfolded here as well. We'll kind of recap what happened in the webinar. Okay. All right, guys. Yeah, thank you very much, and we'll see you later at 2. Okay, take care.